former national chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC, and former Edo State Governor, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, has agreed to be a guest speaker at a summit to speak on the rule of law organized by Lawyers in Equity. Speaking during the presentation of official invitation to Comrade, National President, Law Students Association of Nigeria, Dr. Blessing Agbomire, noted that Comrade Oshiomhole was privileged to practice rule of law as labor leader and as national chairman of a political party. However, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, in his reply, noted that he was a beneficiary of rule of law as a leader in labor and as a governor of Edo State. He rejected a call for military to take over from current government without due process, as the call was against rule of law in Nigeria. Also rejected disintegration of Nigeria,
which is the basis of the rule of law. So we are planning a summit on the rule of law to promote the rule of law in Nigeria, because we believe that the only way Nigeria will develop and be developed is when Nigeria adhere to the principles of the rule of law. So knowing very well, sir, your person, your position in society, you have had the opportunity of leading Nigerian workers where you preached the rule of law. You've also had the privilege of now being in government where you also promoted the principles of the rule of law. And you were also a chairman of a national party where you also did everything possible to promote the...
Well, thank you very much. And I'd like to see young lawyers.
Lawyers in Equity.
Lawyers in Equity. I am delighted to be able to welcome you to my private office and to thank you for considering me worthy of being invited to address a summit in which the issue of the rule of law will take a central stage. Knowing very well that I am not a lawyer, even though in the course of my journey in life I realized that I wish I had read law, but it's clearly too late for me now. Some will say it's never late, but I don't want to read law just for so sake. I want to read law so I can practice. But given my age, it would be embarrassing if I enroll in a law school and I manage to pass, or do a law degree and then law school, and then my grandchildren's mates, I will be carrying bags for them to go to court. And sit at the far back. Yeah, so I guess it's too late for me. But I also agree with you that law is about society, and there are other jurisdictions in which before you read law, you must first have a degree like they do in the US, so that you understand the world beyond the narrow confines of law. Therefore, I think it's very interesting for me, and I'm happy that future law students recognize the need to interface with society and interrogate the whole concept and practice of the rule of law. I used to say, and it is the truth, that I have been a beneficiary of very, very courageous judiciary. And but for a courageous judiciary, I would have been a convict by now, because of my work as a trade union leader. When I stepped on government's red line, of course, they deployed all the weapons, including police, have been arrested countless times, and arraigned before magistrate and high courts for all kinds of charges, including unlawful assembly, incitement, all the things you can think of. But each time they did that, I have been fortunate that I was arraigned before judges with courage, and I've been defended by lawyers who, most of the time, if not all the time, provided their intellectual, their knowledge of the law and their industry to defend me. And as a result, I have government after government, whether it was military government, later civilian government, when I became the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. I can't count how many times I was prosecuted or even persecuted, by the government of the day at the time. So I am a beneficiary of the rule of law. I have the most outstanding one, which most Nigerians will readily remember, is the fact that I was rigged out of election in Edo State when I contested for governorship in 2007. And thanks to a very courageous judiciary and the industry of very learned senior members of the bar, not only was the fact of the rigging established before the court and at the appeal level, I think I'm in history as the only person who have been rigged out of election, and courtesy of a courageous judiciary, I was declared the winner and ordered, INEC was ordered to swear me in, rather than simply cancelling the election and ask me to go and repeat. For an exam I did not fail, but because somebody else didn't do his part. So all my life I remain very appreciative of the role of judiciary in our society, notwithstanding whatever criticism anybody may have. For me, I say without fear or favor that I am a beneficiary of a courageous judiciary. So when you are here, therefore, as law students, you are at home. And also because you are a law student union, I'm a unionist, so our own is not through the court sometimes, except when they take us there. Ours is the law of natural justice, not law made by man, but law made by God, for to treat fellow human being in a just manner, in a fair manner, and to have mutual respect, regardless of your social status, regardless of your gender. So we are therefore partners in progress. So I thank you for this initiative. I think it is good. Sometimes I'm worried, and I think this is a good time to talk about things like this. What I found out because of my activism, both before government and being in government and even after I left government, is that when Nigeria faced challenges, a lot of people, but let me put it this way, some people who should know better, they get so carried away and angry, but they do not care about the position of the law. It's like wanting to resort to self-help, or if you like, pursue what seems to be a simplistic escape route. When I was president of the NLC, these are facts that can be cross-checked. Nobody fought President Olusegun Obasanjo like I did, providing leadership for Nigerian workers and Nigerian working families who were negatively affected by the choice of economic policies that the then president pursued. The one that people will easily remember is the fuel price, but there were several other issues that we thought if we didn't deal with. The president, having just retired from having been a former military head of state, may not know the difference between a head of state and being an elected president. And I think I'm proud to say it was my lot to provide leadership for constructive engagement and to legally challenge him and using the democracy space to interrogate his actions and get him to recognize that we are now to be ruled with our corset, not by degrees anymore. And if you think anybody has done anything wrong, all you can do as president is to go to court. You no longer have the power to put me away the way he was able to do when he was military head of state. Now, this was a challenge to get it to go through a kind of reorientation. And the rest is history. I'm sure most Nigerians of your age, you probably will remember, that we did provide some battle. So Nigeria has never been a paradise. At every phase, there are issues to discuss. And I think at the point, the National Assembly decided to sponsor a motion, and they were already collecting signatories and already debating to impeach President Obasanjo. But they were shocked when the NLC, under my leadership, we said no. To impeach the president at this time, when our democracy is just growing, we tantamount to short-circuiting the process. No shortcuts. Now, Obasanjo was PDP, I was Labour. He neutralized opposition, so I can say Labour was the main opposition. But I said, no, even as we fought him and we continue to fight him on those policy issues, we must make a distinction between the person, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, and the president of Nigeria and the government that he heads. Now, these are two different things. So, people shouldn't see me as though because I fight against policy, I am enemy of the chief of state, the president. And when they decided to impeach him, we said no. You wait. During the next election, look at him and look at whoever is opposing him, and let Nigerian people make the decision. That is the promise of democracy. And I remember then that the PDP leaders, the chief, and I watched him on NTA say even the NLC does not support the impeachment of Obasanjo, even as we continue to fight him when he pursued policies that are inimical to public welfare. So for me, this is about the rule of law, because if you resort to shortcuts, you create a bigger problem. Now, incidentally, just last week I read in the paper or watched news, and I saw one of your very senior colleagues, Mr. Clark? Robert Clark.
Yeah.
That's right. I was shocked when I saw him on a major national television platform, calling on the president to hand over to military. I thought that was the height of irresponsibility, given his age, given his knowledge, as a very senior member of the party. Now, what is it that he wanted? He wanted a military that will restructure Nigeria, which again was for me senseless. Because the structure as it is today, who put it in place? Who overthrew the parliamentary system? The parliamentary system was overthrown by the Nigerian military. That is on record. Who created 12 states from the 4 regions, namely Northern Nigeria, Eastern Nigeria, Western Nigeria, Midwest? Who created 12 states by decree? It was the military. Who created, was it 20 or 21 states from the original number? It was the military. The correct 36 state structure and FCT, who created it? By military decree. How can anybody who has lived through and who is fairly familiar with our journey as a nation, have the illusion to talk of a senior advocate, priority source views, a man who ordinarily on a good day you want to go and listen to because you think he has seen it all. You know, I think that even in a moment of distress, and regardless of what anybody thinks, the world is resolved, and Nigeria is part of it, that never again shall we be governed by an unelected government. Never. We don't want unelected angels. People like me, small as I am, I was detained at Awolowo Road by military intelligence, under General Abacha. What of my role? I was just a union leader, not even in the public sector, in the private sector. The NSC had been dissolved by successive military governments. But because I still breathe, even that breathing, I'm not Floyd, but even that breathing was to be taken to an underground detention center at Awolowo Way by work on Unuka. Is it Unuka or not Unuka? Omeka. When General Sabo was the Directorate of Military Intelligence. So people don't know what sacrifices Nigerians made to get the democracy as we know it today. And I dare say that a lot of those who were always in bed with government of all colors, whether military or civilian, and those who applauded the quote 21 wise men. I do still remember this caption from Nigerian newspapers when Timi the Law, Rotimi Williams was appointed by then Atik Murtala to craft a new constitution for Nigeria. And that is how we move away from parliamentary system to the presidential system. And the argument was that Nigeria needs to have a strong president. You need a strong center because the regions are too strong. Yes, they are too strong, and so on. So people always look for quick solutions. So I thought that Robert Clark, I have a lot of respect for him. When I see him on telly, I like to, whatever I'm doing, I like to watch. Because you can't take it from him, he has made his own contribution. But I was shocked that he could resort to unlawful suggestion, as to how to solve our problem. But even the prescription did not benefit from his own experience in life. If the military have solution, Nigeria would have been the greatest country on earth. If dictatorship is the answer. So I think when it comes to rule of law does not flourish under dictatorship. The first thing that suffers under dictatorship is the rule of law. Because first, the process of making law will be appropriated by the military. Which is why, as is often argued, even in dictatorship, you have the executive, which may be called head of state in the case of Nigeria, and then you have the judiciary. The thing that will be missing is the arm of government that make laws, the parliament, where you can canvass and have your input to dispute, to agree or disagree. So for anyone who is familiar with this, to suggest that the Nigerian army should be a trust, I thought Clark owed Nigerians an apology. First because, he insulted the intelligence of many of us, but also embarrassed many of us who see him as a model. Because elders must be, the test of maturity is how you react under tension. Nothing justifies an elderly man like that to talk in the way that he did. If he behaves like that, what will the younger ones do who work with quick fix solutions? So I think there are many things that can be canvassed under this broad thing. But the bottom line is, this is our country, we must have faith in it. It's not perfect. I don't know of any perfect one. And I insist that with all the problems we are facing now, taken together, Nigeria is more than the sum total of all those problems. And I will give up, and you shouldn't give up. We clearly have issues, but those issues have to be solved by us here. And now that more and more people are becoming aware that it is not they and us, we must recognize that we all can do something individually and collectively to make Nigeria of our dream, a reality. I'm also not, I'm not also agree with those who think of dismembering Nigeria. Everybody go his way, Nigeria is not a reality and so on. Those ones are also poor students of history. Why is Europe spend so much time forming a European Union to create a larger market? And just recently we signed this Africa Trade Agreement so that Nigeria can have access to a much bigger market. But we already have a local market of 200 million. If we can keep it flourishing, increase the purchasing power of the citizens, we already have a huge market. That should be an asset. That diversity should be an asset. But the challenge that I want you younger ones to watch out for is that when people are not in the system, they seem not to worry about what happened to the system. But no democracy can survive like that, because it doesn't guarantee anybody that it must be here and not here. So I think that all of us, particularly the younger ones, even at this moment, we should not go beyond the bounds of law in canvassing or taking positions on national issues. I have this this Igbo proverb, and I like very much. It says, "Or the hurry, the tear trouser." You don't wear it, take it, otherwise you don't put your toes on the wrong place and it will just grow. And then you have to go and see a tailor like me. So, thank you very much. There's a lot to be said, but this is not meant to be a seminar. Just to say that you young ones too, when you see elders cross the red line, call them to order. Call them to order. Nigerian military should face the task of defending the territorial integrity of the country. And I'm very happy that the chief of defense staff issued a prompt response to Robert Clark and people who think like him, that the military mandate is clear and they remain loyal to the Constitution. Nothing in that Constitution allows anyone to come and help us fix our problem outside the democratic process, regardless of which party you belong. Thank you very much.
I'm very, very happy. Most of the things you've pointed are the major issues in this country. I'm happy that elders like you are now saying it publicly, encouraging the young ones to now interface with society. Your Excellency, thank you very much. Secondly, I want to tell you that with the little, let me use the word ginger they are giving to us now, we are going to do more in making sure that we interface with the larger society. Thank you very much.
Welcome, my son. I hope I'm privileged.
What we are told us today, this will guide us in planning the summit. And then, like rightly said, you are a beneficiary of the rule of law.